I've been using this OnePlus 11 5G for the last couple of days, and I was thinking that the OnePlus is one of these flagship phones for a lot less of the money, but how does it compare speed-wise to the iPhone 14 Pro Max? And I know a lot of people will say that these speed tests are pointless and a waste of time. However, I don't think they are, because that's what the consumer will see first. They will see which phone is faster, and straight out the box you can see that it takes a lifetime to close all of these apps on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, because I want it to be as fair as possible and close everything, yet on the OnePlus it took just a couple of seconds. So we'll go through each of these apps and see which one opens quicker on each phone. So obviously here the OnePlus takes it straight away. And then we move on to my favourite football app of all time, which is FootMob, and the iPhone takes it by just a second or two, so there's really nothing in between that. And then what we'll do is come on to the social media apps, so things like Twitter, and the OnePlus does open it quicker, but not massively notably quicker. And then when we go over to Instagram, you can see it was actually instantly open on the OnePlus. Then to be fair, I wanted to use both apps that are supposedly native to each phone, so Apple Music, which opened first and quicker up on the iPhone. Then for the OnePlus, in fairness, I used Spotify, and when you click on Spotify, it was open just a little bit quicker on the iPhone. So it seems to be that the iPhone is opening these apps just a tad quicker. And again, it's the same with TikTok, and you'd kind of expect this because the iPhone 14 Pro has that A16 Bionic in it, whilst that OnePlus 11 5G has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. But there's no surprise that these phones are actually so close in terms of how quick they open. And again, YouTube on the OnePlus just taking it. And this is why I don't think that these tests are that pointless, because if you showed this to somebody who didn't know really about specs and things of phones, you would see that on the OnePlus, it opens a bit quicker and sometimes beats the iPhone. However, on Asphalt here, obviously this is one of the most power hungry games you can get on both Android and iOS, and they open pretty much at the exact same time as you get up to all these loading screens and pick all of your options as well. However, when you go into the game itself, you'll see in a second that the iPhone is just that little bit quicker, and there's a countdown timer that's on the screen as well. Is it 3, 2, 1 into the game? So you'll see that just by a second or so that the iPhone takes this part of the speed test, because it is just a little bit quicker than that OnePlus 11 5G. Is this something that would make you go and get an iPhone over an Android? I don't know, maybe not. I also know that running these kind of Geekbench scores are really a little bit pointless, and they're not an idea of exactly how well a phone performs day to day. However, you can see that the iPhone on this test, it does work quicker, and not just a little bit quicker, but miles quicker than that OnePlus. That OnePlus is still maybe 30, 40 seconds behind, and this is at 2 times speed. And I also had time just to clean my desk because I realised it was a bit dirty, and still even check my watch because the OnePlus did take its time. And then when both these phones finished that speed test, you can see that the iPhone has those better specs. You can tell it doesn't transfer to day-to-day life, because some of the apps will easily open quicker on the OnePlus. Like Gmail there is just instantly open. And then again, native apps, things like the camera, they both open pretty much at exactly the same time. The calendar, again, I'd say that's pretty identical. You might disagree, but I think that they're really close in terms of speed. And then podcasts I use all the time, and it does open a little bit quicker on the iPhone. And you wouldn't really care that it opens just a second after, not even a second. Then all these apps like the phone, and then you look at messages, they open pretty much instantaneously on both of these devices. So even though the iPhone is more expensive by about £400 or £500 than the OnePlus, you can see that now they are both really close and similar in terms of speed and everyday use. But I prefer the OnePlus when you go onto the app drawer. For some reason, it just seems to run a little bit smoother than when you go into the app drawer on the iPhone. The next thing that I wanted to test as well was just going for the unlock process. So on iPhone, you have Face ID, which just opens ridiculously quick without even having to think about it. And the OnePlus does have Face Unlock as well, but I prefer using the fingerprint on it, and it's just as quick as Face ID. As soon as you find out exactly where that fingerprint is when the screen is off, you can unlock the phones like rapid amount of time. So again, really close. Then this test here, just really quickly, was opening every single app as well. while just to see what phone kept those apps running in the background, and both phones kept every single app open and running in the background except this Asphalt game, which they had to both reload at the exact same time anyway, and no difference in what they keep open after you've used any of the other apps on the phone as well. And the last test that I really wanted to have a look at is which of these phones can turn on quickest. And I know that no one ever turns their phone off now, but I don't think it would be a speed test, would it, without checking which of these phones can turn on a little bit quicker than the other. So both phones are off, and you'll notice that the OnePlus starts up a lot quicker than the iPhone, and it starts up maybe 2 or 3 seconds quicker. But then when you put them both down, what will happen is that the iPhone does start up and boot up onto that lock screen maybe 5-6 seconds quicker than the OnePlus, because it has these really nice animations, and they are nice, however maybe they're a little bit unneeded. So the iPhone takes that one and opens around about 5 or 6 seconds quicker than the OnePlus. Both of these phones are unbelievable for the price, and I wouldn't say that the iPhone in terms of speed is any better than the OnePlus is for speed, so it's completely your preference. But let me know in the comments, which of these do you prefer, the iPhone 14 Pro Max or that OnePlus 11 5G?